Hey everyone, good morning. How are we doing? Welcome to a new week. Ready to get after it. Monday morning, here we go, baby. Got some movement overnight. But it looks like that might already be being reversed here. So here's the channels I got going so far. Morning, Scalp. Morning, Jocko. Well, I hope everyone had a good weekend and got some rest. I was up most of the night last night with one of my younger kids. Got a cold, and yeah, it was a rough night, I'm gonna be honest with you. So if you see me dragging this morning, you'll know why. Trying to wake up, and yeah, always got to be careful when you have a little bit of rough sleep. Trading is, always remember that it's a performance activity, performance sport, if you will. So you have to really be operating on all cylinders. If you don't get good sleep, it's not a good sign. So if I start noticing it affecting me at all, I'll probably just hang it up for the day. But so far so good. I'm feeling all right, and yeah, ready to hopefully, we've got some good movement, so hopefully we get something. No worries, Zippins. Glad you popped in. Charts are pretty straightforward this morning. Hold on. Got a real nice move up here. Already had a break and a new high. Then we just ranged for a while. And this is a pretty clear move down with a break and a new low. So we could get a bounce here. I would suspect we haven't really even retraced past the 50% mark of this big move up. So I would imagine that we still could go up here. So then now that we have a break and a new low, waiting to see if we can push above the EMA. That would be a great opportunity to try to scope a long trade here. That's awesome, Zippins. I'm glad Apex decided to return that loss. Yeah, I mean, from what their announcement was, they're going to refund any losses that people had that morning when Rhythmic was not working, and keep gains too, so that's really cool. Not only removing losses, but those who had gains, letting them have them. So I mean, that's really neat, man. They did not have to do that at all. Technical difficulties are part of the game, so I think that's a really good move on their part. Hey, good morning, Bobby. All right, just a 100 more ticks here on this bar. I would suspect this is when we would bounce. So we might come down and test the 100 EMA first. Speaking of which, gonna pop over to that chart. Thanks, Zippins. Yep, gonna get some coffee. I think a nap is in the cards today at some point. Now, on the 10K, it doesn't even really look like a break and new extreme. It just kind of really looks like a break that could get second leg. Something like that. So we'll see if we can get up to this level. That's around 4173. Mark that on this chart. Yep, about the same. 4172. That is assuming that we bounce here. We might have a deeper correction, but we'll throw it up for now. Nice, Gary. You know, and good morning, by the way. I did have a moment last night before I went to bed. I took a look at the chart, and we were right around here, somewhere around there, I'd say. And I was looking at it, like, okay, we have a nice leg up. I would bet you that we're gonna get another leg up like that, you know? I was expecting some sort of correction in here, but I almost was like, I'm gonna put on a Gary trade, go along here, expecting that we would eventually get another leg of this and set my target for a couple points. Would have been a nice little trade. The overnight Gary special. I still just, yeah, I mean, I'm not there yet, for sure. Being able to just put a position on like that with no real like entry, just kind of a Just an assumption that we'll continue. Okay, so you bought right around here. Where's your stop loss go, Gary, on that? You pick some arbitrary level down here, like 50% retracement, or do you put your stop all the way down here? Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess it's not an assumption, but then if that's the case, why don't we always do that? When we get a move down and it breaks, why don't we just go short here without a setup? I don't know. Maybe there is an edge to that. Just playing trendline rules. Not waiting for an entry, just assuming that we'll get more of a move down. But I think my question is, where do you put your stop? You know, how far do you let it retrace before you know you're wrong? That's maybe the tricky part of using that as an entry. So I am wondering, Gary, where is your stop? If you go long right here on the break of that trend line, where the heck do you put your stop down here? Three points below. Okay. Problem I have with that, I guess, is that you don't know how big the retracement's going to be. You know, you could have a move up like this and then have a 4-point retracement and then another move up. So for me, that's hard to tell where you would put your stop, because you could still be right but get stopped out, you know, if it moves just a little bit past that on a larger retracement. I don't know. It's interesting as a long-term strategy. I would need to do a lot of testing and a lot of sim on that to really trust that as an edge. To figure out, I mean, because we can agree that if it has a break of the channel, we would expect a new extreme, but you know, what's our risk? How far would it go down before it goes up, and what's the probability that it would hit our target before retracing too much? So I think those are the unanswered questions there for me. Nice, Chaco. Yeah, maybe Gary's got that special touch on that thing and it's just his deal. I think I'll probably hold off on that. But I'm gonna keep looking into it though. Nine minutes till open. We have to adjust our measured move a little bit, so we're gonna move down. I'll let this play out a little bit. Might have to adjust our measured move a little. So I think we might have a deep retracement coming on. Maybe to go test the 100 SMA. EMA rather. Yeah, that makes sense, Storm. Yeah, you could do a trailing stop. Yeah, I don't know. Especially I think as an overnight thing where you're gonna set it and forget it. That's where it makes it hard for me. I think probably the best setup that I could think for that is if we had a very clear move up like this and then had a pullback that you could actually put a stop under. So move up like this and a pullback maybe to here, and you don't know if the pullback's done, right? But at least you've had some sort of a move down. Then you could imagine a second leg coming up, and then just put your stop like, I don't know, a point or two below wherever the pullback is at that moment. And then you could say like, oh yeah, it's definitely wrong if it goes back this far. I don't know. Oh, there you go, Jocko. Yeah, or use the 10K as an overnight setup. But like if we were doing that, I would think this would be a perfect place to go long. Well, except we already have a break a new high of this. Never mind. But if this had not had a break a new high, if this was just the break of the channel, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have a correction, and even you have a break and a new low of that correction. So if you go long right here, put your stop maybe below the EMA here, and then set a target even for like this high. I would set and forget that for sure. Oh, you were way back here. Gotcha, you were on this pullback here. This move up, you entered right around there. Okay. Morning, Toad. So anyway, those are all interesting ideas. I think they would need to be thoroughly tested in order to trust them long term as an edge. So I appreciate all the ideas, and yeah, I'm gonna keep investigating that, keep trying to notice live, you know, while we're trading live as well, if those things play out, because it makes sense logically, right? But you don't want to trust your capital on something that isn't fully confirmed as an edge, and you'd want to do it on sim for a long time before actually viewing it. All right, well, good morning, Black and Ease. Happy Monday to you as well. Anyone else who's coming in, happy Monday. Again, we had this move up overnight. It already has a break and a new high, so this bullish move technically is played out. We were ranging for a while, broke below with this little bearish move. We have a break and new low, so this could be played out, and really the next few bars are going to tell us when the open comes. And if we just kind of drop down here, we're going to start looking for a bigger channel. But if we could push above the EMA, then we will look to make a new high and possibly even get up to our measured move here. So the next series of bars are going to be pretty important, and will kind of set the tone for the day, because we are right at about the 50% retracement of this big move. If that holds, we can continue and we can even have a bullish day. But if we drop significantly below that, even come down to test the lows here, you are pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be a mixed trading day. No solid trend in either direction, lots of up and down. So really watch the open here, watch how prices move. It's going to give us a lot of information for the rest of the day. Kind of got a gut feeling that we were going to end up dropping down on the open. So just toying with the idea of ways a larger channel might look. I kind of like this one. We'll copy that just in case. Yeah, same Toad. I think we're just gonna have a big trading range today. Yeah, if you flip over to the daily chart for SPY, it pretty much paints the picture that every day we should assume there's going to be a trading range. I mean, it's just absolutely terrible price action. We're just in no man's land, going really nowhere for the last couple months. So I think start every day assuming that it will likely be a large trading range. And you're gonna be well ahead of a lot of folks there if you just start with that assumption. So here's the open. Again, we are waiting to see what happens here. See if we can start looking for a larger downtrend, or maybe resume the bullishness and reach for a measured move. Bouncing off the 10K EMA. On the 10K, this definitely looks like we're still in this down move, that we do not have a break new low yet. But yes, black and knees. We would assume that this channel is played out, came down, had a break, a new low. And so that's why I keep saying that this area is important, because of this, right, we would expect a bounce. But if we don't get that and the EMA keeps holding and we keep moving down, that's when we might be looking for a larger bearish channel in play. We haven't even gone and looked at the EMA yet. Let's throw that channel back on there that I had. That looks pretty good. This might be what's going on here. I'm gonna throw the midline on there as well. No, never mind. Overshooted that, but maybe it's steeper version. We're in the upper half. So again, I'm going to copy that. It's not confirmed yet, but if we cannot bounce here, start making progress towards or above the EMA, then I think that is exactly what we're going to be looking at. Or maybe even like this. That looks even better, I think. Thanks for that call out, Gary. Let's check that out. Yeah, got a little mini measured move there. It's hard to say that there's been a measured move because we haven't really had a pullback yet. This all kind of looks like just one move here. I'm sure on the 10K that's what it'll look like as well. So it's hard to say that there's been a measured move here. All just looks like one big leg. So as I was saying earlier, this now shows that we are not going to have a bullish trend day. This move played out with a break and new high, range. Now we have a break and a new low. We still have not even gone up to the EMA, way past the 50% retracement, coming down towards the bottom. We're for sure in for either a range day, or maybe this can pick up steam and get super bearish. I doubt it though. I think range is the most likely scenario at this point. See how this channel's doing. This one looks a little bit better. Have a possible overshoot at the bottom though. Just hard to say. It's somewhere around there. See if we can get a second entry short here. We're gonna need to pull back to the EMA at some point. On the 10K, it looks like this is our break. Interesting. Let's see if we can replicate that at all. It's probably going from that swing like this. There's our first entry to the short side. I don't think a second entry is going to happen here. We have a lot of space to make up to get back to the EMA. But we would want that second entry short to form way up here, and I don't think that's going to happen. So this is one of those areas you're just going to have to be patient, let it come back. to the high probability areas. This is not it. We're way far down. A lot of room to even the 10K EMA. Both of the EMAs, yeah, just this is an insane amount of space. You're gonna see a retracement here. And let's extend this channel out. It's looking better and better. Prices have been respecting it. This doesn't look like a break anymore. I want to make sure I'm not drawing it like that. There we go. So at this point, obvious that we are moving down. We have, yeah, I keep messing with the channels, but something like this, right? I mean, we can clearly see the prices are holding in that, some sort of pattern around there. So now we're just looking at an opportunity to go short. Waiting for a high probability setup, which in this case would be a pullback to the EMA and a second entry short. So I'll pull back like this, a first entry, another pullback, and a second entry. And this is our first break of the channel. So when you do get a break of a channel like this, you expect a new low to be formed. So that is what we're playing on. There's our first entry. Dang, this might form really quick and really good. So let's get ready for it. Don't want it to just drop off here. Again, we need to see prices come back to the EMA. That's where we want the setup to occur. I really like how this candle just plunged down. It shows there are sellers here for sure. If given the chance, I think they're going to make something happen. But we need to move up here. Cannot go any farther down. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. Right coming up to the EMA. This could be just a bread and butter textbook setup here. Want to see, oh boy. Do you want to see prices tick above? This looks like we were just going to drop off into the abyss. See how quick that bear candle formed? This is going to be a really good one if it happens. Want to see a little bit of a move up though. If we drop off here, it'll still be the first entry. Well, I guess technically second entry, but this is going to be like an inside bar. Come on, baby. Go up, go up, go up. Bummer. We're probably going to get a second entry right here above this inside bar. Can't take that. That really sucks. Context wise, this was a great setup. We really don't want to enter after an inside bar. That signals indecision on a super small time frame that will actually look like a trading range, right? So got to stay out of that. Unfortunately, if it had ticked above and then came down, it would have been really nice. It was also not close to the EMA. That was another thing that should inform you to stay away. Let's see if we can get maybe a double trap. And what that means is all these bulls who are going to be playing the failed second entry long, we want to see them get trapped. So basically, the people who went short here, we want to see them get trapped and the bulls get trapped. So it'd be a double trap, essentially a move up above this area to the EMA, and then a bearish candle is what we want to see. Gotta happen in the next bar or two. Okay, this could be good right here. Come on, baby. It's gotta come up to the EMA though. That touches the EMA, I'll feel a lot better about this trade. Still haven't even touched it though. Okay, there we go. Feel a little bit better about this. See if we can turn down and become bearish here. There's the trap of the second entry shorts. Let's see if those early longs will get trapped as well. Not on that candle. We have maybe one more chance here. Oh my gosh. Of course it works right here. After this bullish bar, no way to get in on that. It's just gonna drop off here. Super lame. Context wise, guys, this was absolutely perfect. This is where high probability trades happen. Clear move down, clear channel, a break after the break of a channel, expecting a new low, the possibility for a second entry short off an inside bar not close to the EMA, possibility for a double trap, drop down right off this bullish doji kind of looking bar. So did not set up right, but that is exactly what you want to see, where you want it to happen. That's the kind of moment that you wait all day for right there. It just didn't set up right. And now we have a trading range forming, so got to stay out of it at this point. But yeah, there was no setup to take there. There was no setup to take there at all. The bars didn't form right, but context wise, that's exactly where you want to see it happen. And I just realized that I cleared my cache, but I did not reload historical data, so I'm going to do that now. Just to see if my bars are any different. I don't know that it will change anything, but I'm really hoping it doesn't show me that I had a great setup there. That'll be pretty disappointing. Okay, good. Still no setup. Even with my bar, this bar looks slightly better now, but still no setup. Now we do have a low of our bear channel. There we go, break, new low. So now we have to let a bullish correction play out before we can consider shorting again. Oh, but actually, really quick, I'm gonna mark the overnight low while we're down here in case we reach to that level. I'm also going to go up and delete this measured move to the long side. That never happened. We came this far down. It just feels like we will likely come down and touch the overnight low at this point. Usually that happens when you get a pretty significant move one way or another and you're close to a key level, like the low of the day or the overnight low or yesterday's high or something like that. Prices will go and test that. It's very rare that you see a move down like this close to a key level that just kind of bounces beforehand. Usually got to go test that. So I think we're going to keep dropping off here, test this level, and we'll see what happens. If we just blow past it, then we are going to be looking for shorts all day. Maybe even look for a bigger channel down here. But more than likely, we'll come down here and this will offer a little bit of resistance. We will form a base and then we will start bouncing up. Especially given the daily chart the last couple months, the likelihood of having just a runaway trend day is slim. Well, I hope everyone's seeing what I'm talking about on that whole last setup. You should, when this starts happening, you should be licking your lips, getting ready, because that's exactly what we're waiting for. But you should also realize that if it doesn't set up right, you gotta just chill. Even when the context is beautiful, if it's not at the high probability area, the key entry point, the bars don't look right, you just gotta hold off, because that could easily just chop around and then bounce some more. So the bars do tell a lot of the story, how they form. Tech, good to have you in the chat today. And yeah, fill the gap and we're just gonna keep on going. Like I said, there's this key level down here the prices are going to need to test. I think that's probably what's going on here. These last few bars kind of moving slow here. Well, I mean, there's no sure things in trading, right, Black and East? But if we break the overnight low, not just break it, but if we break it with conviction and then hold below it, then yes, I believe that we will likely have a bearish trend day. But these next few bars are going to be pretty important. These kind of key levels don't just break if you kind of drift down to them. That will be the scenario for a false breakout. You want to see prices come strongly down to a key level and just blow past it as if it doesn't exist. That's when you can trust it a lot more. So looking at the 5-minute chart, it's not super strong selling. We had the first bar was nice and red, couple dojis, and then another red bar. This next one might end up in a doji as well. So this has not been super strong selling. And so I would say the chance of us blowing past this and really setting up a bearish trend day is not very likely. Again, I would favor setting up a base here, chopping around, maybe even having a range, and then eventually bouncing. Here we go. There's our move down to test the overnight low. Another thing to note is when we're coming down to levels like this is definitely where you do not want to go short. A lot of retail traders make the mistake of shorting into the lows of the day or overnight lows or going long into the high of the day, things like that. Even if we break this, that is not a good trade to take. Again, it matters how we got here. And we didn't get here super strongly. We already have a break and new low of this channel. And a lot of mixed candles in here. And the other thing is you just want to see it confirmed anyway. So if we break below, we'd want to see a retest of this area that is confirmed before trusting it. So this whole area on the chart, this is a wait and see area. We just need more bars. Boy, things really slowing down here at the bottom, so that is definitely another sign that we're not going to go anywhere fast anytime soon. $170K, wow, that is really low volume. Mugda, welcome, good to have you here. Yes, given everything that I've already mentioned, I would think that we'd be having bounce here. But that does not mean to trade it, right? Just because we expect a bounce at a certain level, that doesn't mean we're just going to all of a sudden take longs down here. That is definitely not what I'm advocating. What we want to see is a bounce that is confirmed above the EMA, develops into a trend, and then we have a second entry long. That would be a high probability setup. Other styles of trading might take a long down here and, you know, it's got a little risk, but it's not super high probability. So here we have our bounce. Didn't quite make it to the new low, or the overnight low rather. That is a little bit surprising. Again, we would think that we'd actually go and test this level. But when you do have this kind of weak action leading up to that, sometimes you can get an early bounce. Totally, Jocko. Yep. We got a higher low there. It'd be, I mean, if you're a more aggressive trader, that would be one to look at. But yeah, not even allowing that, huh? This EMA is the 21 period EMA, the green line, and then the gray line is the 100 period EMA, which is basically the 21 on a higher time frame. So this is the 10,000 tick chart, basically that line. This has definitely gotten a little off. Yeah, so that looks like a break a new low even on the 10K. So maybe you could consider a failed second entry short. We have our first entry right here. If we push above the EMA and do one more entry, you might consider a second entry, a failed second entry short there. Yeah, totally, Brant. Yeah. I think, you know, Apex has done that before too. Reset losses because of a technical error. This was like maybe, I don't know, a year ago or so. Something, what was it that happened? It was something similar. Rhythmic was having issues and giving weird fills or something. And yeah, they did the same. If you had a loss on that day, they reset it. I think that's pretty cool of them. Again, they don't have to do that at all. So it looks like a really nice second entry short's gonna form here, but not want to take a short this low. I mean, we may have a larger channel, may have something like this. I don't know, that doesn't seem to fit super well. Maybe it starts lower. That does fit pretty decent. If you trusted this trend line or had it already, that would have been a decent move right there. Not the best signal bar in the world, but it would work. That's a second entry short. Maybe a lower high. See if the lower high finds forms, I mean. It would also be a failed second entry long. Yeah, I'll play a short if we get a failed second entry long here. Slash lower high, confirming the second entry short. Prices need to come up right here and give a wick right here and turn bearish. Looks like we're just gonna drop off though. Yeah, so we technically did break the overnight low. Poked through it at least, but we'll see if we actually can drop below or not. Dang, I really wish I had this channel earlier. That's money. Should have been trying to look for something. If you had this channel and took that trade, good work to you. I didn't spot that quick enough. Because again, you get this close to a level, you're gonna expect that prices are gonna test it. So the fact that we had to break a new low, couldn't get above the EMA second entry short, that's a pretty good one to take a chance on. So now let's see if we can hold the overnight low. Extend this channel out. Maybe it'll present another opportunity. Bounce off the bottom here, come up and get a second entry short right here. That would be wonderful. See what kind of momentum we got here, guys. Will this be some legitimate selling or big old trap? Tune in on today's episode of Trading Spy. Gut says trap. I think you have a lot of experiences to back up your gut on that one. Especially this last year. Traps have been pretty much your standard. It's more surprising when something doesn't end up being a trap. So if this was a wait and see area, like I was saying earlier, this definitely is. We're below the overnight low, but not a lot of momentum. Just kind of stalling out right here. Totally, Brant. I feel your pain. It sucks to see quote unquote aggressive trades work out. And I think this was a bit more on the aggressive side, except if you had found this channel. I think you could trust that a lot more. But yeah, it does suck when you see like these sketchy setups work and then you're waiting and you're like, nah, skipping that one. And then the one you do finally take that appears to be high probability doesn't work. That can be frustrating for sure. However, you have to think about it over the long run, right? If you take aggressive trades over and over, everyone, let's say you take everyone that shows up every day, over the long run, you will not be as profitable as if you wait for the high probability ones. Because I'm sure you all have read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Your losses are going to be randomly distributed over the course of your trades. So the fact that like 3-4 sketchy setups work and then your high probability one doesn't work, it doesn't mean it's a worse setup. That just means that one was a loss. But over the course of hundreds of trades, you'll see waiting for the higher probability, more sure bet trades, if you will pay off in the long run. So it's kind of frustrating in the but if you think about it over the course of the next couple years, it's definitely worth the wait. And it's worth it even to like wait and take a loss, because you're focusing in on one setup that has a better chance of success than other ones. That is exactly, tech, that is trading. Just nailed it in a nutshell. It's really difficult because, you know, in most every career that you could throw yourself into, the better you get, like the more you can be confident in like success all the time, right? Like perfection. If you practice your jump shot over and over again, day in, day out, like after a while, you can expect a certain level of reliability. Like Steph Curry can hit whatever 100 free throws in a row. That's what's expected when you practice. But with trading, it's not the case, because this is a game of probabilities, right? So you can practice and practice and practice and get better and better and better, but at the end of the day, you will not be able to catch every move. You will not be able to see every opportunity. You will take profits too early. You will take losses, and that's at the highest level. So that's what I think makes trading really difficult, is that kind of messes with our common sense that, yo, like if I just practice, I'm gonna be able to avoid errors and get more perfect. But it's just not the case. Perfection in trading is being able to execute a setup and not get like emotionally smacked around if it doesn't work out, and to continue to come back and execute that same setup, trusting that over time it will be profitable. So yeah, sounds a lot easier than it is, for sure. So yeah, I'll get off of my soapbox for a little bit, but if you are finding any value in the stream, please give it a like. That certainly is helpful for me. Hopefully we can come down and touch the bottom of this channel, confirming it, and then come up to the top. If we just come straight up to the top right here, it's going to be a little bit hard to trust, given the space here, given the space here, given the fact that our overnight low is right here. Although that does kind of look interesting. If we can get a solid rejection off of the overnight low here, that does have some potential. Yeah, that'll happen, Blackanees. Counter trend trading just does not pay off in the long run. I hope you don't have to learn that the hard way. Sweet, thanks for that call out, Brant. Yeah, like this whole area. We were right at that. Definite key level. Again, we have some space here at the bottom, guys, so I would not look for, even though we're testing the channel here, I would not necessarily look for a second entry short. I think this is going to be another one of those setups that Brant was talking about. Aggressive. Maybe it'll work, but not high probability in the long run. Thanks, Black Knees. Take care. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Still have not had our first entry yet. We are now above the overnight low. Hoping the market can give us a little bit more information as to what the heck is going on down here. Not seeing a lot of conviction to the downside, as I was talking about earlier. This is, again, can be a highly dangerous fake out area. A lot of people see the overnight low break and they short. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to start bouncing. All those stops are going to start getting eaten up, and then we can really get fueled higher. This is exactly why you don't want to short right into these kind of levels. Prices will often stall out. And we had a lot of clues that that was going to happen. Had this short-term channel that already had a break and new low. A lot of just slow, choppy action, not aggressive selling into this level. That big move up overnight too. So a lot of clues that this was not just going to break and drop down into the abyss. This is also why I was holding off here. Because well, here you did have room to the overnight low, so that is something that made it good. But here, definitely, if there was a second entry short that formed here, I would for sure not take it, even if it looked textbook. The context all of a sudden would not be high probability. See how all this is looking on our good friend the 10K chart. See if we can find that like secondary channel here on the 10K. Oh yeah, totally. Look at that. So it's always nice when the same channels you can see on both the 10K chart and the 2K chart. That definitely helps with conviction. So we got the same thing going on. Break of this secondary channel, which we still would expect to move to a new low at some point. Might have a larger correction before that happens though. This definitely looks tempting as an uptrend. Like if we were to have a second entry long form, it really does look tempting as a long. But I'm still sort of favoring the short side because of this channel has a break. Still could get a new low. So I think rather than taking a long here, I want to see a break, a new high of this channel so that it can be completely played out, and then maybe look for move down with a second entry short or something to reach towards that new low. Right at this potential horizontal resistance. This does look like a really nice move up though, guys. I'm going to test the 10K's EMA. So this is our first entry long. From this high, always count long entries from the high. We have a pullback on this bar. This is the first entry. As the first time a bar goes above the previous bar, looks like we're just going to take this first entry to a new high here. Oof, yeah, I mean, this would also be a second entry short. Playing a move back to the EMA. I don't really like that. I don't like that type of trade, but it's out there. That is something. Looks like you would have gotten, no, not quite stopped out, because technically the second entry is, here's the first entry. Technically this right here is the second entry, so you would have entered right here, stop right here. You're still alive. That is definitely an aggressive trade. That is for sure. Starting to get a little congested in here too. Looks like it's getting a little failed break out of this mini range here. And that right there is why you don't want to go short too early. While we are still in a channel, the second entry short at this point would be counter trend. It's counter to this trend. Hey Hunter, hope you had a great weekend too. Let's take a look. 7:06 Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, so I mean, I've been talking about that, so I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I didn't have this channel, first of all. That's the main piece. So without that channel, no worries, no worries. I'm happy to go through it real quick. So without that channel, I had this working and I had a break and new low. So according to price action rules, this is played out. Being so close to the overnight low, I don't like going short into this level. So kind of going through bar by bar. Do expect this to get tested, so this is pretty decent. However, without this channel, you don't really know what's gonna happen here. This could just easily have 2 legs of correction and end up right here. So to me, that was a little bit risky. Already having a break and new low of the downtrend, potential 2 legs of correction here. This is also a bullish, somewhat bullish bar. Not a super. If this is really bearish, that'd be a different thing too. But this is kind of bullish a little bit. So for all those reasons, I skipped. But however, if you have this, oops, it kind of. You have this. I think that kind of changes everything. I didn't find this in time. But if you were working off this, you can expect the overnight low to at least be tested, even if we bounce from there. And you do have a bullish signal bar, so that's the one thing. And the possibility of 2 legs of correction, that's the other thing. So that probably still would have kept me out. However, I was looking for a lower high, and I would have traded that. So right here, I was like, oh man, if we get a lower high here, I'll take it. But then that didn't happen. We just went straight down. So there was reason to hesitate here. If a lower high had formed, it would have been A+. I would have traded that in a heartbeat. Didn't happen, so held off. And now we are still bouncing. Crazy. How well this trend is being respected. It's just amazing to me how well these channels work. I mean, this is clearly riding the bottom, touching the top, touching the bottom, touching the top. I mean, that is exactly what you want to see. At this point, we are above both EMAs. Let's see how far we've retraced this bearish move. We're about at getting close to the 50% line. Possible resistance right here. I'm just trying to talk through whether or not it'd be a good idea to take a long if it sets up. I think if we get a nice enough second entry long, I'll take it. I don't think that's going to happen because we were way away from the EMA, so that would take a pretty significant push down to get there, and we already have our first entry. But hypothetically, if we get a pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry, right off the EMA, that will be a break of this channel, and we'll still be expecting a new high, even if we do eventually come down and get a new low for this bearish channel. So yeah, I think I will take a long if it works. So let's see how this forms, see what this correction does here. As always, want to make sure we have our correction trends in place so we're not fighting short-term trends. We do need more of a pullback here. Technically, this will be our second entry if the next bar goes higher. So, for sure cannot take that up here in the clouds. You're unable to see how that's the second entry. From the highs right here, we have a pullback, first entry, and on this bar it was a pullback and likely our second entry. I would imagine the next bar is probably going to tick higher. I hope everyone sees why this would not be a great trade to take. You'd have to go right into these highs. You only have like one tick before the high there. We're at the trend line, but we're not at either EMA. This is one to hold off on for sure. Okay, so can we get past this potential resistance here? I would imagine we can. This doesn't seem too formidable. It's a pretty strong move up. I think we might come up here and then get a correction here. If that happens, I am still interested in a second entry long. See what this looks like on the 10K. Get rid of that. Still looks like a nice little uptrend for sure. The old failed third entry short. Classic price action strategy. Okay, here we got a pullback. Don't like how we didn't touch the top here, right at this resistance point. That will make me second guess my longs a little bit. Thanks for that call out, Brant. I'm gonna look at the daily chart. Yeah, oh my goodness. Just craziness. Yeah, if you need to see something terrible, go to the daily chart of SPY. It is just absolutely horrendous. Literally have not gone anywhere in 2 months. We've been staying at the same exact level. Actually, even more than that. Since February, we've been at this level. Nope. Nope, actually before that. Since last September. That's nuts, man. No, actually it even goes further. Dude, crazy. To last May, a year ago, we have not gone anywhere. An entire year. Same spot in the chart. There you go, a little something encouraging for today. Yeah, if Al Brooks is right, I've heard he said that he thinks we're going to be in a range for like 10 years. Oof. But that is a good time to get into trading. People who are banking on long-term investments, that's terrible news, but if you're trading, a range isn't the worst thing in the world. There's ways to, there's big intraday moves that happen. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that for day trading, but if you have long-term investments, that's very bleak, to say the least. What'll happen is all those retirees will just use their accounts and day trade them. That's what will end up happening if we just keep chopping around for too long. Taking a look at the daily chart and even the weekly chart, though, it certainly looks like we need to go test the lows of this huge range we've been in, which would be like around the 380s. That's where we've come from in March and December. Around the 380s up to this level, back to the 380s, up to this level. So been chopping around at this level for quite some time. Certainly feels like we need to go back to the 380 level. So I would bet you the market is just waiting on some sort of news it can grab a hold of to drop us back down to that level. So be watching for that. Be watching for that. It certainly looks like that's what needs to happen, just based on the chart. The 5-minute chart for today just looks like a straight V down all morning and then just pop up out of nowhere. Bad vibes, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to indicators, you just got to understand what it's telling you, right? All this is telling you is that the 21 period is moving up higher than the last one. The last 21 bars are moving up higher than the last 100 bars. That's all that that's telling you. I just think it's really important with indicators not to get into like this, hey, does the, you know, this cross tell us something? Like, think about what it's communicating. You really don't even need these lines to see with the same thing. So just zoom out and look at, and actually it'd probably be easier on the 10K. Look at the last like couple hours have obviously been down, and then the most recently we are obviously up. So for the last 20 minutes, this has been a rapid move up compared to this took like several hours. So that's really all this is saying. The short-term trend is moving up faster than the longer-term trend is. So does that signify a reversal? I mean, I guess we'll see, right? But yeah, I mean, you don't even need those lines to show you the same thing. Just look at how the price is moving. Still holding this channel here. Do want to see a touch of the top. And that way we can really trust it. If we can get up and touch the top, then I can feel really good about a second entry long that pulls back from the top. Hey, thanks, Donna. I sincerely appreciate that. I definitely am hoping to be a positive presence on a sometimes pretty negative, pretty rough, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like section, a type of trade. Look, just the world of trading can be pretty Wolf on Wall Street type stuff. So that's definitely not me. So if anyone appreciates a little bit more positivity in that world, then stick around. And still not getting up to the top of that channel. Looks like our momentum is kind of fading out a little bit. This is the last time we touched the top here. Missed it on this swing, missed it even more on this swing. That will make it pretty tricky to trust if it breaks here to give a good entry. We will see. Haha, that's the truth, Brant. Prices don't pull back to the EMA until you enter a long position. It's just the rules of the universe. Okay, so here's finally our break. Finally our break. So we want to make sure that we are monitoring the correction trend here. We're not going to go long if that is still in play. Given the fact that we have not touched the top of the range, I'm a little bit skeptical of something nice forming here. I think maybe our momentum is starting to wear out and maybe we'll see another V-shape reversal. But this sets up nice. I think we have to take it. If we get a second entry long at the EMA, I think you got to pull the trigger. It looks right. Let's see what we can get. Well, that was a little rough. I do need to see if prices can hold above the EMA here. Hunter, to answer your question, it's 100. The 100 period EMA. Which is basically the 21 period on the 10K chart, which is higher time frame. So it's just basically mimicking the same EMA on both charts. Okay, so there is our first entry long. Not great. We're still on the short-term downtrend here. I think we're gonna have to wait for a higher low if the second entry long happens. here's your second entry long. Looks like, at least we'll see. It looks like it's gonna happen right. Oh, almost got above the EMA. I bet your second entry is gonna happen right here. If it does, I will not be taking it. We're still in a short-term downtrend. That was a bearish signal bar closing below the EMA. But if we can push above here and then give a higher low, I will consider taking that. All right, there's our second entry long. Again, not gonna take it. We'll see if we can push above the EMA and get a higher low. That would confirm the second entry long. Yep, looking for the higher low. Okay, let's see how this forms here, guys. Needs to come down. The higher low needs to happen right here at the EMA. Come on, baby. Come on down. Push a little bit lower. Give us that higher low. If it starts going up from here, where the opportunity is gonna pass by us. It's gotta happen close to the EMA here. Still got a chance. Still come down here. Yeah, I'll take a look at your second here your question here in a second, Hunter. You might have a trade set up right here. This is the perfect spot for this to happen. We stay right here. I don't want this bar to be the higher low. I need the next one to be the higher low. I want that body really close to the EMA. Okay, here we go. Here's our chance. Let's see if it sets up. Come on, baby. Move down. Okay, so there is our tick lower. So if this finish is bullish, it's going to be our higher low. I'm going to get my order ready. I don't want it to move too high up, is the thing. It's really got to happen right here. I kind of want, all right, we have 700, almost 800 ticks left to go. I want us to pretty much just stall out right here. Cannot go any higher. Where are we at? 10 ticks. That's perfect amount of risk. Mugda, I'll let you know after I do it. I don't want you following me if you're gonna ask that question. Oh, man, I think I gotta take this, guys. 13 ticks. Okay, there we go. Come on, baby. Fill us. Come on now. There we go. Okay. Stop is in place. I'm going for 8 ticks. I really should probably be going for 6. Go right here. Just based on the ATR. But it looks like we're going to get it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Push up. I think we might get stopped out here. This finish is bullish. That'll be helpful. That'll be our failed second entry short. Gonna add some. That's a bold move, Cotton. Well, this is gonna make us suffer, isn't it, guys? We're just gonna have to sit here. I might get off. Break even. You really did want to see that push up happen right here. We don't start making some progress, I think I'm gonna take the trade-off. Tech, actually no. If you have a high enough win rate, your risk reward can be like this. Just different ways to be profitable. If you have a low risk, high reward, you're gonna have a smaller win rate, and vice versa. All right, baby, here we go. Come on now. Might move my stop closer here. Just got to push up on this one. Come on, baby. Man, still stalling out. We're gonna get out a little bit early on this one, guys. Here we go. Come on now. Push up. Push up. If this finish is bullish, I'll move my target back up where it was. Come on, baby. We just need that one push up. Once this gets going, we're gonna push to a new high here. Yeah, Brant, this is exactly what we were talking about before. High probability setup making you work for it. There we go. Come on now. Just like 2 more ticks. All we need. Oh, you son of a gun. Jeez Louise, I'm starting to sweat now, man. Here we go. Just finish already. Put me out of this misery. Put me out of this misery. Good night. It's gotta push now, man. Just a couple ticks is all we need. If it just reverses here, that would be a crazy spot for it to reverse. Come on. There we go. Jeez, the freaking wheeze. Alright, gonna let this sucker run. Man, had to sweat that one out, guys. Sometimes you gotta be patient. Let's see if we can get a massive runner. That'd be cool. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Let's target this measure move here. I didn't even realize we were like well past 11 a.m., but let this one work out. I'm contemplating whether or not just to take this off right here. We already have a new high of that uptrend. I mean, we could get this measured move, but like, man, prices have been so slow. You know, I think I'm gonna leave it on. Why not, you know? I might trail it tighter, Dylan. Yeah, that's a decent idea. I might trail it tighter. See if we can get even just one little swing. Candle doesn't look very good for the possibility of a runaway move here. So I might, if we move above this here, I might move my stop up to right here, this level. I think I'm gonna wait for a little bit more of a legitimate swing though. Come on, baby. Let's push this up. Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I'm just gonna... I'm gonna let it ride. Because this could be one of the... I mean, this is a pretty strong move. I think this could definitely get a measured move. So I'm not gonna trail it tight. I'm not gonna risk getting stopped out and then letting it see... You know, see it go another 10, 20 points. We'll see if we can get up to that measured move. YOLO, baby. Except I'm only on one contract now, so it's not quite a YOLO anymore. But yeah, YOLO, why not? Why not? If I doubled down now, that'd be a YOLO. It is stalling out here though. A lot of top wicks, but if we can start getting some momentum, we might have a shot. Got really cold in my office all of a sudden. Hold on, I'm gonna get a sweatshirt on. There we go. Much better, much better. So the thing with these runners that you got to remember is this is really just bonus money. We've already made our scalp. We're already good. The majority of our positions scalped out. So this is really just a just in case kind of deal. You're just banking on the off chance that we get a runaway. Later, Dylan. Take care. See you tomorrow. We'll let you know if this one is a big winner here. Looks like it might come back to stop us right now. But this is significant enough here for me to move my stop up. We'll see where this ends up, and we might get a nice wick to put the stop underneath. Nice, I like that. Let's go, baby. I don't even know, where are we with our challenge? Okay, we're up to 26K. So we have 500 more to go on this eval account. So we could actually get that in this one runner. If it goes. Apex is still doing that 80% off sale, by the way. If you want to do an eval or, you know, throw on a couple accounts and get funded, it's a good time. They're doing it through the end of May. So halfway through the month, you still got another 15 days to be a part of that. Hunter, that's actually a special program sorry, that I've had developed, so you can't, it's not something standard on NinjaTrader, unfortunately. The best way, just on NinjaTrader's program, is to, apologies man, I got a frog in my throat. The best way to do a pending order would be to, oops. Can't do that. Never mind. I'll show you later. But just put a limit order below the market and drag it up and have it just hovering where you want it to go. And then once price triggers, you can release. That's probably the easiest way. And I can't do it right now because I am maxed out on contracts on this eval account. So I can't add any more. It won't let me ensure an order. Okay, so I am going to trail my stop now. This is a pretty decent enough swing here. So we're going to lock in like basically our scalp, a point and a quarter. Could change to a 3. Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I'm only in 1. Yeah. You know, Hunter, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to make it available to folks or sell it. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. I'm still contemplating that, but yeah, here's what we're gonna do. Let's buy limit 4. Yeah, I don't know how to do this on the fly, especially when I have a trade on, but I can show you later. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. Remind me and I'll show you how I do it. While I'm waiting for stuff, I'm gonna go back through, see if there's any questions that hit me while I was in that trade. I do want to talk. I kind of mentioned it. Someone, you know, when I had initially entered my trade, someone had mentioned that my risk reward was upside down. I really do want to address that, because I think the primary look, being profitable trading is always a balance between your win rate, and your risk reward. Those things have to be right. The ratio has to be right for you to be profitable. And so I think the majority of, you know, like YouTube traders and stuff out there that you're going to see preach a very like low risk to high reward trade setups. And that is absolutely a way to be profitable. But you need to know that if you take low risk, high reward trade setups, your win rate will be really low, which is fine. You know, if you're risking risking 1, let's say. I'm gonna do a little napkin math here. So let's say you risk 1 on a trade for a reward of 5. That'd be an excellent risk reward ratio. You only have to be profitable, or sorry, you only have to win like 17% of the time to come out ahead. So on the surface, that's like, wow, that's great. I only need to win that percent of time and I can be profitable. Yes, I mean that's true. However, you are going to have to put up with a lot of losses. You are going to need, because there is a correlation between your risk reward and the probability of something occurring. So your win rate probably, if you're doing 1 to 5, probably will be around like 20%, you know, 20-30% if you're really good. And so that means you're going to have to put up with a lot of losses over the course of you know, a certain amount of trades. Say 100 trades, that's 70 losses, and you know, those could happen in a row. You could have 20 losses in a row, no problem. How are you going to be able to put up with that mentally? Can you really take 20 losses in a row and trust your setup? Some people can, and that's great. But I prefer let's say in most of my, looking over my journal, my risk to reward is usually I risk about 1.5 for reward of 1. So some may say that's upside down. Oh, it looks like we're going to get stopped out here. Bummer, dude. Yep, stopped out. That's okay. Still took the win. Still a nice win. But yeah, the runner's bonus. So anyway, like I was saying, I usually do a 1.5 risk to 1 reward. Let's say even I'm risking 2 to make 1. People would say that's upside down, and you need a win rate of 67% just to break even on that. Well, if you're taking a high probability setup, I can tell you right now that my win rate is higher than that. If you're taking really high probability setups in your discipline, you can have an extremely high win percentage. And so all you have to do for that, again, higher than 67% on that risk to reward, and you're good to go. It makes such a difference mentally if you can have a setup that will get you like 70-80% win rate. Then you can be confident each time you take it. The majority of the times you're going to win. It's the rare time that you will lose. And that, it just makes a huge difference psychologically. So that's why I prefer it. And you can certainly make money both ways, doing low risk, high reward, or vice versa. As long as your win rate matches up, it's fine. There's many ways to be profitable. But yeah, I just prefer high win rate trades because it helps psychologically. You don't have to worry about taking a ton of losses in a row. It's just a couple losses here and there, much easier to overcome. So anyway, that's my rant on that. So if anyone, I'm sure you will hear people say things like that, and that's why. So hopefully, I'm sure I will have that conversation again sometime. Yeah, me too, Jocko. I thought that today was going to be a dud for sure, but that's the thing. You're patient enough and things will just present themselves. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Got the trade in for this morning. Was hoping for a massive runner, but that happens. We still got a 1.25 on the runner, so we scalped out for the entire position at a 1.25. That will work, especially if you have multiple accounts, like I do through Apex. That one trade it'll be plenty. So anyway, hope you got some value out of the stream. Thanks everyone for joining me, for the call outs, for the questions, conversation, much appreciated. Trade safe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.